втором среднем весе. И первым добро пожаловать в черный угол ринга, представляющий Кызыл, Республика Тыва, Россия, Artysh Lopsan.
Next up, we've got an all-Russian clash at super middleweight. This is Artysh Lopsan. 14 wins, 2 defeats and 2 draws. Those defeats coming against good fighters in Nikita John and also Pavel Siliagin. Won the Eurasian Boxing Parliament title in November 2024 and the WBO Oriental 3 years before that. A big away win against Vijender Singh in India. He was 12-0 at that point, the Olympic medalist. So he's had some notable victories. Drew his last fight, that was last April, over 10 rounds against Islombek Muminov.
А сейчас, дамы и господа, приветствуйте на пути в золотой угол ринга. Из Буйнакска, Дагестан, Россия, Cheerav Ashalaev.
Ashalaev, 24 years old. A gold medalist at the European Under-22s back in 2023. Won over 6 last October in St. Petersburg against Sajjad Merabi. And another couple of wins over 6 rounds over the previous couple of years in IBA.Pro. So not nearly as experienced in the professional ranks as his opponent. And giving away a bit of height there as well and some reach that'll come with it. This one's scheduled for 8 rounds.
Дамы и господа, нас ожидает один из самых интригующих поединков сегодняшнего вечера. Впереди 8 раундов бокса во втором среднем весе. Представляю участников поединка и первым боксера в черном углу. Ему 31 год, рост 190 сантиметров, вес 76,1 килограмма. Его впечатляющий рекорд насчитывает 18 боев, 14 побед при всего 2 поражениях и 2 ничьих. Одержал 9 ярких побед нокаутом. Экс-чемпион WBO Oriental, чемпион Евразийского боксерского парламента, представляющий Кызыл, Республика Тыва, Россия, Artysh Lopsan. Его сопернику в золотом углу 24 года, рост 182 сантиметра, вес 76,2 килограмма. Его рекорд насчитывает 1 бой, в нем одержана победа. Он чемпион России, чемпион Европы среди молодежи, бронзовый призер чемпионата России 2025 года из Буйнакска, Дагестан, Россия, Cheerav Ashalaev. Рефери поединка Баграт Абаян, Армения.
And you can see the difference between the two physically there as the referee called them to the centre. The height very much in favour of Lopsan, as we pointed out. The tail of the tape sometimes isn't all that accurate. You see two fighters are supposed to be the same height and then you see different when they're stood in front of each other. And sometimes one's supposed to be significantly taller and then it turns out they're really not. But in that case, it was accurate. So Ashalaev in the white and Lopsan in the black. Lopsan looking to step in and let that right hand go early there. Good jabs to the body there from Ashalaev. looking for the long right hand to the body there. Lopsan. Ashalaev springing in from quite a long way out with that lead left hook. He's done some good work with that lead left hand at times in this round, Lopsan. He looks capable of using that reach. Just crowds himself a little bit there as he steps in behind the right hand. Into the final minute of round one. Ashalaev again just springs in with that lead left hook. He's done that a couple of times. He needs to close the gap quick. He certainly feels like he does against an opponent like this. But the fight has already kind of shortened up a bit. These two in the second half of the round standing more at mid-range than they were at long range. But he walked onto a right hand there, Ashalaev, a few seconds ago. And again, springs in behind that lead left. Pair of them just swapping jabs there.
Второй раунд.
Little feint with the front foot there from Ashalaev. Just turning around his opponent there. Ashalaev trying to keep Lopsan on the move, trying to make sure that he's not set. Lets that right hand go. Again, just comes in behind that lead left hook, and maybe he lost his balance there slightly, Lopsan, because Ashalaev rather sportingly seemed to pass on the opportunity to close in there. But he started this second round with a bit more vigour, Ashalaev. He had a look at his man, I think, in that opening round more than anything else. Trying to find that short right hand on the inside. Ashalaev. Left hand into the body. Long right hand, but he was just moving off that, Lopsan. Took the sting off it. And he's still just creeping in here, Artysh Lopsan. But turns his man neatly there, Ashalaev, who is the more skilled of these two. Just getting on the chest there of Lopsan. Into the final minute of the round. Good right hand there from Ashalaev. Moved in behind the left, and I think that one landed a bit more solidly, but Lopsan didn't show any sign of it. Left hand into the body a couple of times there from Ashalaev. And there's that big springing left hook, followed by right hand that time. And there was that right hand that got through. You could just see it crash straight through the guard. He kept it nice and busy in that second round, Ashalaev, and looks to have the ability to pick the gaps or create the gaps.
Секунданты за ринг. Третий раунд.
Just pulled that right hand there as he went to let it go, Lopsan. Ashalaev is giving him quite a lot to think about here, and again as he was shaping to throw that right hand, Lopsan, a right hand caught him from Ashalaev. He doesn't cut off the ring particularly well, Lopsan. He tends to follow Ashalaev around a bit, and then Ashalaev just steps in and lets his hands go. That was a good volley of punches. The uppercut on the inside wasn't too far away there from Ashalaev. He just pushes his man back into the ropes. He's chipping away here, Ashalaev. Again, just steps off and maybe nicks a little bit of a breather here. Turns southpaw. Left hand into the body there from Ashalaev. Good solid left hand, and that hurt his man. You can see the knees just dipped there slightly of Lopsan, and he's done good work in this round. Ashalaev, he's kept that pace high, that left hand straight down the middle, and you could see the reaction that it got. He's making a dent in his man here, I think, in this third round, Ashalaev. Again, goes with a combination up top. Left hand into the body, then again just goes up to the head. I think that one landed around about the chest. And it put him back onto his heels again. Again, the southpaw left straight down the middle. That's a good round for Ashalaev, who's just turned the screw First round he had a look, the second round he raised the tempo, the third round he ramped it up again there. Be good to see if he can continue to click through these gears, because with 5 rounds left here in this 8-rounder, a stoppage could be on the cards. Those 2 defeats I mentioned against Siliagin and Jean, both inside the distance for Lopsan.
Секунданты за ринг. Четвертый раунд.
So into the fourth. Lopsan just trying to get on the front foot maybe in the early stages of this round and buy himself a little bit of respite, give his opponent a bit more to think about. That could of course play into the hands of Ashalaev. That's good work with the lead hand there from Ashalaev, down to the body, then up to the head. Good right hand there from Lopsan. Just caught Ashalaev as he was looking to open out maybe. And he's had a better opening minutes of the round here, Lopsan. He came out with some purpose at the start of this fourth. I think he realised that the momentum had really shifted against him in that third round and he needed to do something about it. Slightly strange call that from the referee. There was nothing low about that. Left hand there from Ashalaev. That left hand out of the southpaw stance, that's got through. That's been the really profitable punch for him. So ticking down to the halfway stage, the completion of round 4 of this schedule for 8 at super middleweight, and there's Cheerav Ashalaev who will be in the lead as we get to that halfway point. Now it was a better 4th round for Lopsan given what happened during the 3rd, but the meatiest, weightiest shots, the cleanest punches in that 4th still came from Ashalaev.
Секунданты за ринг. 5-й раунд.
So into the fifth. Cheerav Ashalaev in the white. Artysh Lopsan in the black. Trying to work the body there on the inside, Ashalaev. Again, just looking to step into that lead left hand and then stepped off his man there, Ashalaev. He's done that a couple of times. The first time I thought it was because he felt the Lopsan had slipped, but he did it again there when he could really have closed in and looked to go again. That can be the remnant of amateur competition, of amateur style, because often in that format a fighter will land a good combination and feel like that might be enough to win the round or give them a big advantage, and they don't need to step in and put themselves in harm's way potentially. Nice left hand on the inside there from Lopsan. Final 30 seconds of round 5. And give Lopsan credit. I did wonder at the end of the third round whether Ashalaev might be able to, as I described it, just click through those gears, turn that screw a bit more round by round, and he got through with a long right hand there, Lopsan, as well, and take this away from his Russian rival. But it doesn't look like that's going to be the case because he's responded well, Artysh Lopsan. Because he had his knees dipped by that strong southpaw left hand towards the end of the third, but since then he's not found himself in too much trouble and had a good round there in the fifth.
Шестой раунд.
Well, he held out the glove there for a touch of the gloves, Ashalaev, and Lopsan wasn't having any of it at all, just stepped in and let his hands go. And he's under no obligation to do it. The referee will call you to the centre at the start of the first, at the start of the final round, to touch gloves. Outside of that, you can offer it, but you cannot be upset if the opponent doesn't take it. If you're into your boxing history, it's something that started, that touch of gloves at the start of the first round after incidents between Stanley Ketchel, the Michigan assassin, and Billy Papka, the Illinois Thunderbolt, in their first fight 100 odd years ago. The story goes that Papka offered his glove, Ketchel ignored it, launched into him. And then in the second fight, it was the other way around. So referees decided, or rather the establishment decided, that the referee would instruct fighters to touch gloves at the start of the first round and then at the start of the final round. But also that outside of that, it was very much at the fighter's discretion. You think about Victor Ortiz and Floyd Mayweather a few years ago now. Ortiz offered a glove to Mayweather after an illegal blow, and Mayweather didn't take it and knocked him out. It's the final minute of round 6. Good right hand there from Ashalaev. And Lopsan's one of these guys as well who physically at times looks like he might be about to not unravel exactly, but he can have that kind of tired, loose look to him, but he just digs in and keeps going. And it's Ashalaev here, just looking to hold on the touch towards the end of the round. And there goes the bell. 2 to go. They're scheduled for 8 in the super middleweight division. And I'd say there wouldn't be too much in this at this point. Ashalaev, I think, after 3 rounds could well have been 3 up. But you look at 4, 5 and 6 and this man could have taken a couple of them. So into the final 2 rounds. Cheerav Ashalaev in the white, Artysh Lopsan in the black. This at super middleweight. Good jab there from Lopsan. Nice stiff jab, and looks to try and put that right hand to use as well. Ashalaev again just looking to launch in with that left hand. The way he fights is quite a tiring method at times. As I said, he springs in. Good right hand again there from Lopsan. He's got a bit of wind in his sails here. Good use of the lead left hand, and again he just rips up with that big hook uppercut almost there, Ashalaev. Good right hand there from Lopsan, explodes up the middle. And the jab finds a home as well, and Ashalaev is more of a static target now. Sinks in that right hand again there, Lopsan. Just keeping things nice and simple. Again, just looks to try and really wind up that time though for the right hand into the body. Ashalaev trying to push him back and muscle in that right, but doesn't find room for it. This is turning into a grueling fight towards the late stages. Good right hand there from Ashalaev. Knocks Lopsan onto his heels. I don't think it really hurt him though. Left hand into the body there from Ashalaev. That was good work from him. Ashalaev just trying to get on top of this man here and find some gaps if he can. He's put a big effort into this round. Ashalaev, I think he maybe realised that Lopsan was getting a foothold or more than that, and things were getting a little bit tighter, a bit more interesting. That was a big effort round from him there, Ashalaev. One to go here. He started well though in that round, Lopsan. It was Ashalaev who came more to the fore towards the later stages.
Дамы и господа, финальный 8-й раунд.
So 8th and final round. Ashalaev in the white, Lopsan in the black. And they'll both be looking for a big finish here. Again, he looks to rip into a lead left uppercut there, and that's what I mean when I'm talking about his method being a tiring one, because that takes a lot out of you. A lot of core strength, a lot of lateral movement when you're looking to really fire with those big hooks and uppercuts. Lopsan is a bit more economical, looks slightly cramped for space and a bit clumsy at times, but he throws a lot more straight punches. Ashalaev again with a left hand into the body there. The more eye-catching punches in the fight have definitely come from him.
Holding, good. Holding.
And I'd say through 7 rounds I'd have him up. I'd have him 4-3 up, maybe 5-2, because I don't think Lopsan got any of the first 3. Although the first round was close, not much happened.
Holding, gold.
Midway through the round, again he just explodes into that left hook. Ashalaev. It's interesting watching him because the way he fights like a puncher, but there's no great evidence that he is a massive puncher. That kind of fast twitch, and as I said, that saps you. And everybody wants to believe they've got knockout power, but not that many people do. And those single punch knockouts in any case are rare. You need to hit somebody with something they really don't see at all, because a professional fighter, a well-conditioned pro fighter, if they're braced for impact, they can survive it. It's the ability to dress those punches up to land something harder than they're expecting. So even though they are braced for it, it still does some damage. That's what you need in pro boxing, particularly the higher the level you go to. Into the final 30 seconds. Good combination, good stuff there from Ashalaev. Oh, cheeky there from Lopsan.
Listen to me.
Tickled him with the right hand well after the referee had said stop. There was no damage done. Both of these two just working hard until the end. Lopsan does look tired there as the left hand lands. Good fight Good fight between these two. Good fight to watch. Ashalaev has done enough, but that's good from Lopsan because, as I said, I thought he could be in trouble in the second half of that fight, and it never really happened because when he needed to, around rounds 4, 5, 6, he dug in, got a couple of them, I would say, and just made sure that Ashalaev just didn't get that real scent of a stoppage in his nostrils particularly. It looked like that might happen. There's Tischenko, Evgeny Tischenko. Looked like it could happen after what was not exactly a torrid third round for him, but a difficult third round. But it didn't materialise. He dug in well.
Итак, дамы и господа, после 8 ярчайших раундов единогласным решением судей победу по очкам одержал и остается не знающим поражений из Буйнакска, Дагестан, Cheerav Ashalaev!
So Ashalaev gets it by unanimous decision, but as I said, he had to dig it out. He had to dig it out in the second half of that fight. It was a good contest between the two, and again, a good display from the away corner fighter, from Artysh Lopsan. But Cheerav